We are a family of floor sleepers, and I have gotten so many questions from you guys about what it's like to really live sleeping on the floor. So I have compiled a list to answer them all for you. We are covering everything from bugs to mold to how I convinced my family to get on board. So if you are curious about how we make it work, stick around. The big question is, do we like it? And the answer to that is an emphatic yes. I would definitely never go back to a normal bed now. There has been so many benefits. I love the extra space. I love the flexibility of having the kids sleep on the floor. For my own health, my sciatica has disappeared completely, and I also have a medical condition which causes my blood pressure to drop, and so being close to the floor and grounded has been a game changer. When I am feeling sick, this is definitely the place I want to be. The next question I get all the time is, did I make my husband, my kids, switch to floor sleeping? So in complete honesty, the whole idea around switching to a Japanese Shikibuton was actually my husband's. I was like, I like the idea of it, but it's going to look like we live in a dorm room. And he was like, honey, we don't do things because we want to be like everybody else. We do whatever works for us. And I was like, yes, you're right. So I did find a way that I feel like I'm happy with the aesthetic of it during the day.
I was wrong, you were right.
And even though I know it's weird and not many people do it, I'm so glad we did. As far as our kids are concerned, we definitely did not make them. They all still had beds when my husband and I switched, but then over time, they desperately wanted to change. So my kids love to sleep all the places, and so floor sleeping was already quite intuitive for them. So switching over just made sense. And let me tell you, I have zero regrets about changing them over. This video is sponsored by our YouTube memberships. It is a great way for you to support this channel as well as get some amazing perks. Whether it is our custom emojis that you can use on YouTube or Discord, or the badges, or my personal favorite, our members only live stream every single month. Or if you need some personalized help, we have you covered. We offer one-on-one Zoom calls where I can come up a plan for you that's going to keep you organized and sorted. If you want any further information about all of the perks available in our memberships, check out the link down below. I get lots of questions around temperature. So is it hotter sleeping on the floor? Now, our Shikibuton is made of 100% cotton, so it does not conduct heat. Obviously, we all know that hot air rises, so here in the tropics where we live, floor sleeping has been wonderful. It is definitely much cooler for us to be on the floor. Now, I can't speak to living in a cold climate and how you would go. I think it would depend on a lot of things, like what source of heating you use, whether it's underfloor heating, and whether you were sleeping straight on like a tiled or wooden floor, or whether you had carpet. But I will say this, that the traditional floor sleepers who really made floor sleeping what it is today are the Japanese, and they have extremely cold winters, so I would think that there is a way around it. Okay, by far the most popular question I get is around bugs. What do we do about bugs? Do cockroaches crawl in our mouths? What about the spiders? We have scorpions. All of these sorts of questions. So obviously I can only speak to where we live. However, we do live in the tropics, so bugs are a thing. But we have screens on all of our windows and doors, so we really limit the amount of bugs that can come inside really well. This is just a general Queensland thing. We're used to living with bugs. We also are really good at making sure that we have good pest control and making sure that our house has been sprayed so that there's less bugs coming inside. And I actually think that the added benefit of us, lifting up the mattress and making sure that all the rooms and carpets are really clean actually cuts down on bugs even more so. We have had no problems with bugs so far. I think as long as you are diligent in making sure that you have good pest control and also that you're keeping the carpets underneath really clean, that it shouldn't be a problem. What about mold? So if you have lived in a hot climate or a wet climate before, you know that mold is a real problem. And so one of the things that people ask about is how do you manage mold? So it really comes down to really good practices about keeping your floor mattress really clean and also lifting it up and taking it out into the sun as often as possible. So at least once a week, I pick up our Shikibuton, put it over a rack and leave it out in the sun. This works magnificently, not just for making sure we don't have any mold issues, but also for removing any bugs or bacteria that can be in your mattress, because the sun is the best sanitizer you can get. You can also give it a good whack to get any dust mites or dust out of your mattress. And so by far, it's much easier to keep clean and keep on top of mold and bugs on a Shikibuton, a floor mattress, than it is in a traditional mattress. The next question I know that you guys are curious about is how does it work with sheets? So on mine and my husband's Shikibuton, we have the proper sheet made for our mattress. So it is made of all cotton and it is basically like a giant pillowcase. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it is my least favorite part about having a floor bed, getting this in and out. If you have like a big quilt that you take in and out of a doona cover, it's a similar process to that. So it really is a two-person job. My husband and I put it on and take it off once a week to wash the sheet cover outside. You just wash it just like you would your normal sheets and it keeps super clean. On my kids' bed, I actually just use a normal fitted sheet. This works really well for them because sometimes they'd like to take the sheets off completely. Otherwise, it's really quick and easy for me to take off, wash, and put back on. What about if you are a side sleeper? Don't worry, I sleep on my side too, and one of the biggest reasons I switched to floor sleeping was because I had a terrible sciatica after having my kids. So this actually solved all of my problems. It's super comfortable even if you're like me and sleep on your side. I've never had any troubles, and so I guarantee it's worth a go. Is floor sleeping for everyone? I definitely think the answer to that is no. I don't think there is one mattress that would suit everyone, and I think there can be lots of different reasons why floor sleeping may not work for you. One of those that I hear really often is about mobility, and so getting up off the floor every day might be really difficult for you. There are some ways around this if you do think that floor sleeping might work for you. You can buy a base for a Shikibuton mattress, which allows you to have it lifted up higher. It's completely flat, so no slats, but you get all of the benefits of that nice sort of firm sleeping environment while still being up off the floor. If you are considering floor sleeping, one of the great ways to know if it might work for you is to have a try sleeping on the floor. Put either like a camping mattress or even just a quilt underneath you. Have a sleep on the floor and see if that works for you. Something I've heard time and time again is people who go camping and find they get a better night's sleep out there. That's a great indicator that floor sleeping is probably a good fit for you and your back. Although I know floor sleeping doesn't work for everyone, I think if any of these things, if having the extra space, if having a firmer sleep is better for you, don't be afraid to give it a go.